My husband and I, 25 female, got married a month ago. We had a very small wedding in our garden with just our closest friends and family, so around 25 people. We didn't tell people who were uninvited when we got married, since we knew some people would have just shown up without being invited. Leading up to our wedding, I also asked the people who were invited that they should unpost about our wedding, at least until after everything had happened. So I have never really gotten along with the best man's new girlfriend, but I was like, I'll make it work, and we are still going to invite her since she is the best man's girlfriend. Months before the wedding, she came up to me and said she would like to DIY something for our wedding and I should tell her what she could create. I thought that was very cute, and after some back and forth, she came up with the idea to make cards for sparklers we could hand out to our guests. Once again, I thought this would be cute. She asked me to send her some inspo, and that's what I did. Now a few weeks go by and she shows me those cards which look nothing like the inspo ID sent her, but I was still like, fine, whatever. Now here comes the part why we have some drama. Leading up to our wedding, she dropped some hints about engaging at or after our wedding. My husband and I then went up to his best man, who then assured us he would unpropose on our wedding day. However, she still didn't stop dropping remarks about how her wedding should look like, and she could already tell she would want our wedding to be like hers. Now, I was like, girlie, this isn't the time to make things about yourself, but for now, I'll just ignore it. Here comes our wedding day. We have the best day ever. I don't even spend that much time with her, but the few interactions we have, I ignore or pretended like nothing happened. However, this is where I get really annoyed. Before our wedding, I asked the guests to fill out a form where they should have told us about their eating restrictions. She answered that she didn't have any restrictions or allergies, and she would be completely fine. Nonetheless, on our wedding day, she goes up to the chef. We had a food truck with some amazing BBQ, and she asks him about all those things and whether they are in the food or not. The chef said that luckily the thing she was allergic to is only in one sauce and she just shouldn't eat that. She then came up to me and said that the food tasted like trash and she couldn't even eat half of the food we had. My husband said that we were sorry and most of our guests seemed to enjoy the food, but if she would get hungry later on, we could order something for her. Later on, she came up to the best man, who at the time was standing next to me, and said to him that I was being, which with AB didn't give her enough food, and I was unthankful because I had given out the cards with the sparklers. Yet, to avoid more drama, I asked my maid of honor to hand out the cards, and that we could light up the sparklers right away. That's everything I noticed on my wedding day. Now the next day, people text me, complaining about her and saying she was very rude. Asked everyone how much my husband and I spent and for our wedding day. That she is quite certain that my parents had paid everything and therefore would suggest to not give too much money. Called one of my childhood friends an ugly wallflower and fixed my great aunt's necklace. Against I wish the necklace was supposed to sit like that. She also said that she was on too good of a friend of ours and that she didn't want to spend anything on our wedding gift. And she posted a picture of our wedding cake on Instagram the day after our wedding, as well as a pic of my husband and I, and in her post she thanked everyone, like she even wrote the names of the people and what they did on our wedding day. Next thing I know, we are on our honeymoon and she is texting me daily about her behavior. She's going to stop by in 10 minutes so I can talk to her about her behavior. Wish my luck. Update. She tried to lie her way out of things, called everyone a liar, including my best friend, and said she simply didn't know any etiquette when it comes to weddings, because this was the first wedding she has ever attended, mind you. She is in her mid-30s. I still tried to hold her accountable, but quickly realized that she would unreal effect on her behavior and apologize, which is why I held myself back after about 20-minute talking with her. She even had the audacity to say that it was rude of me to invite my childhood friend, since my husband's best man and my childhood friend had hooked up like 6 years ago. One more thing with those sparkler cards. She wanted me to pay her 50 euros now. I didn't give her anything though, because also, I felt like she had some issues with me and not my husband, so I'd rather have the conversation with her than get my husband involved. However, I still feel better now, because I know her character now, and I simply cannot be bothered with her behavior. And it was good for me to set those boundaries. In the future, I'll just try to avoid her as best as I can. One funny thing though. She asked me whether we could host our wedding in our garden once they get married because she thought it was so relaxed and lovely. To which I basically answered, fuck no. Also, I know maybe this was on the best story, but I typed it out in like 10 minutes because I really needed to vent. Comment. I feel like I really need to comment about my husband. My husband is even less confrontational than me, but he too was very annoyed at her behavior. On our wedding day, we were surrounded by all of our loved ones, which is why it was quite easy to block her out. Nonetheless, he later on mentioned how annoyed he was by her comments, and especially that everyone had such a bad experience with her. We both apologized to our friends and family about her, and my husband brought it up to his best man that his girlfriend is simply put unbelievable, and straight up told him that he doesn't know what the best man sees in her. Moreover, after today we both see what a hideous person she is, and can laugh about it, since we know we are not the crazy ones. Like ... The shit she said about our closest family and friends is so unbelievable and made up. I cannot even oat that into words. Also, this chat with her was in person. We have been back from our honeymoon for over a week now.